There's a moment, somewhere around year 3 of owning a modern smart TV, when something quietly changes. The Netflix app takes 12 seconds to load. The home screen freezes for a beat after pressing the remote. The Disney Plus icon shows up, disappears, then shows up again. The wallpaper behind the apps takes its time rendering. You wait. You wait some more. The remote feels like it's lagging, even though it's not. You're not imagining it. The TV is dying, not the panel, the brain inside it. And almost without realizing it, you walk into a store one weekend, or click an Amazon listing late at night, and buy a $35 streaming stick. You plug it into the Logsjermy port on the back. 5 minutes later, Netflix loads in 2 seconds. The smart features on the TV, the ones marketed as the whole reason you bought it, never get used again. That's the part nobody warned you about. The brain that was never big enough. Here's something the box never told you when you bought that TV. The screen was designed to last about a decade. The processor inside was designed to last about 3 years, sometimes less. The chip running the operating system on a smart TV is, almost always, cheap. The RAM is barely enough to launch the apps on day one. The storage is just enough to hold the firmware and a handful of apps that the manufacturer preloaded. This isn't a manufacturing defect. This is the design. A TV manufacturer makes money on the sale. They make almost nothing on the smart features afterward. So the components that handle the smart features get squeezed down to the cheapest parts that can run the demo at the store. By year 2, the apps have all gotten heavier. Netflix has added new features, YouTube has added new features. The interfaces have gotten more complicated. The little processor that was just barely keeping up on day 1 is now drowning. You can hear it sometimes. There's a faint whir from inside the TV when the home screen tries to load. The fan, if there is one, kicks in. The screen pauses for a second longer than it should. The TV still works. Sort of. The apps start disappearing. This one catches people off guard every time. You sit down to watch something. You navigate to the app. The app is gone. Not crashed, gone. The icon doesn't exist anymore. You go to the App Store on the TV. You search. The app is no longer available for your model. This isn't a bug. The manufacturer simply stopped pushing updates to your TV's platform. The streaming service, in turn, stopped supporting that version of the app, so the app got quietly removed. The TV didn't break. The TV was just abandoned. This happened to early Vizio owners. It happened to a generation of LG owners with older WebOS versions. It happened to Samsung Tizen models from a few years back. Almost every smart TV platform given enough time ends up here. Owners go online to ask what happened. They find threads full of other people asking the same question. They learn, often for the first time, that smart TV software has a shelf life. The apps died before the screen did. That's the part people get tired of. The streaming sticks solve it instantly. The first time you plug in a Roku or a Fire Stick or an Apple TV into a TV that's been struggling, the experience is almost surreal. The interface loads in under 2 seconds. Apps open instantly. The remote actually responds when you press buttons. Netflix works, Disney Plus works, YouTube works. Apps that had been removed from the TV's own store are suddenly available again. You realize, with a slight pang of irritation, that the TV could have always felt like this, if only the manufacturer hadn't crippled the brain inside it. You also realize the streaming stick cost $35. The TV cost $800. The math doesn't quite make sense, but the experience is undeniable. From that point forward, the TV is a screen. Nothing more. The smart features sit there unused. The TV remote ends up in a drawer because half the buttons don't apply anymore. You use the streaming stick's remote for everything. The $1,000 piece of equipment in the living room has been demoted to monitor status. The streaming stick has its own problems. This isn't a love letter to streaming sticks. They have their own issues. The cheaper ones overheat. You can feel it on the back of the TV after a few hours of use. The casing gets uncomfortably warm. Some of them, after a year or so, start randomly rebooting because the heat has cooked the internals. The remotes are tiny. They get lost between couch cushions weekly. The batteries die at inconvenient moments, always during the movie, always on a Sunday night when nobody has spare batteries in the house. The ads are aggressive. Free streaming platforms like Roku Channel and Fire Stick's home interface have evolved into ad delivery systems with content layered on top. The home screen shows recommended content that's actually just sponsored placements. The screensavers on some sticks have started showing ads, and the firmware updates can break things. A streaming stick that worked perfectly last week can decide, overnight, that it no longer supports a particular app, or that the remote needs to be repaired, or that the Wi-Fi connection requires reconfiguration. But here's the difference. When the streaming stick gets bad, you throw it away and buy a new one. $35. 5-minute setup, done. When the smart TV gets bad, you stare at an $800 piece of equipment and wonder if you have to replace the whole thing. The cheap thing is disposable in a way that actually helps you. The expensive thing is locked in a way that hurts you. The inversion that nobody warns about. There's a quiet pattern that almost every household ends up at. And it took me a while to fully see it. The $30 device outlasts the $1,000 device functionally. Not because the $30 device is better engineered. Because the $30 device is replaceable. When the Roku slows down in 3 years, you buy another Roku. It's not a decision. It's not a hesitation. You just do it. When the smart TV slows down in 3 years, you stare at it. You consider replacing the whole thing. You feel the weight of how expensive that decision is. And eventually, you compromise. You plug in a streaming stick. You accept that the TV is now half broken in a way you can't fix. That compromise becomes the default ownership experience for tens of millions of people. Not because it's good, because it's the least bad option. The living room cable mess, here's the funny part nobody mentions. The whole point of the smart TV was to reduce the cable mess. No more set-top boxes, no more extra remotes. Everything built in, one sleek device on the wall. That marketing lasted exactly until the app started failing. Now look behind a modern TV in any household that's been through this cycle. There's a streaming stick hanging off the HDMI port, a power cable running from the stick to a USB port or a wall adapter, a separate remote that controls a separate device. The TV remote, mostly useless. The streaming stick remote, the only one anyone actually uses. 2 remotes, 2 devices, 2 systems. The exact cable mess the smart TV was supposed to eliminate. The streaming stick replaced the smart system. The simplification didn't last. The TV that updates itself into a brick. This one happens just often enough to be terrifying. The TV updates overnight. You wake up. The screen turns on. Something is different. The interface looks slightly different. The apps look slightly different. The remote feels slightly different. You try to launch Netflix. The app crashes. You try YouTube, the home screen freezes. You try to navigate back. The TV stutters. The update broke something. Not catastrophically, just enough. The update may be reversible, probably not. Most modern smart TVs don't let you roll back firmware. Whatever the update did, you live with now. This is rare, but not rare enough. The TV never recovered. The subscriptions layered on top. There's another layer most people don't think about. Even when the smart TV works, the apps inside it are subscription engines. You bought the TV, that was an expense. You bought the streaming stick because the TV got slow. That was another expense. Then the apps inside the streaming stick wanted monthly fees. Each one, Netflix, Disney, Max, Paramount, Peacock, Apple, Hulu. The cost of watching TV used to be a one-time purchase of a television. Now it's a recurring monthly bill that, in many households, exceeds what a basic cable subscription used to cost in the 2000s. And the apps keep raising prices, slowly, quietly, $2 here, $3 there. The ad tier becomes the default. The ad-free tier becomes a premium upcharge. The 4K stream costs extra. The simultaneous device count gets reduced. You pay more for streaming today than your parents paid for cable. And the streaming experience requires you to babysit a $30 plastic stick that lives behind your TV. That's not progress. That's a different problem dressed up as a solution. The plasma in the basement, this one I think about often. Somewhere in millions of basements across the country, there's a plasma TV from 2010 or 2011 that still turns on. No apps, no smart features, no firmware updates, no subscription nags, just a screen, pure, functional, reliable. Plug an HDMI cable into it, plug a streaming stick into the HDMI cable. The TV works perfectly. The picture is still good. The remote, the original one that came with it, still functions. The plastic of the bezel is yellowed from age, the back is dusty, but the thing turns on every time. The plasma in the basement outlived all of them. Every smart TV that household bought between 2014 and 2024 has been replaced or has been demoted to a monitor with a streaming stick attached. The plasma, the dumb plasma, the one without a single smart feature, is still doing exactly what it did on day one. That's not nostalgia, that's pattern recognition. The honest truth about TV shopping in 2026. Here's what almost no one tells you when you walk into the electronics section. The smart features on a modern TV are not the feature you're paying for. They're the feature that will die first. The panel is what you're buying. The processor inside is going to age out long before the panel does. So the practical move, the one that almost every household eventually figures out the hard way, is to buy the TV based on picture quality, not based on the smart platform, not based on the app ecosystem, not based on the assistant built into the remote, just the picture. Then plug in a streaming stick from day one. Treat the TV's smart features as a temporary bonus that will expire. Use the streaming stick for everything. Replace the streaming stick every 3 or 4 years when it slows down. Keep the TV until the panel itself genuinely fails. This is the cheapest path through the modern TV experience. It's also the least frustrating. The manufacturers know this. The retailers know this. The streaming stick companies definitely know this. The only people who don't know this are the buyers, who keep paying for smart features they're going to abandon inside 2 years. Nothing is fully broken, nothing is fully working. That's the modern TV experience in one sentence. The TV still works, but the apps don't. The remote still pairs, but only on the 3rd try. The streaming stick still loads, but it's getting hot. The picture is still beautiful, but the smart features behind it died years ago. You spend more time managing the TV than enjoying it, rebooting, reconnecting, updating, replacing. The $35 streaming stick saved you from the $1,000 TV's failures. That sentence shouldn't make sense, but it does. The cheap thing is doing the heavy lifting. The expensive thing is mostly just glass at this point. If you're buying a new TV soon, the practical advice is simple. Pay for the panel. Don't pay extra for the smart platform. Plan to use a streaming stick from day one. Budget for replacing the streaming stick every few years. Don't expect the TV's apps to last past year 3. That's not pessimism. That's just what ownership actually looks like now. Drop a comment with the smart TV in your house that got replaced by a streaming stick. The replies are going to look uncomfortably similar across brands, across price points, across years. The TV got reduced to a screen. The streaming stick became the brain. The marketing lost. The $30 plastic dongle won. Somewhere the plasma in the basement is still working quietly, without updates.